Arsenal beat Sevilla 6 goals to 0, and Mikel Arteta, the manager of a side which goes by names of Arsenal, had lots of things to say about this gigantic win in here on Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? Smash the like button, comment and share. It's zooming all, it's looming Arsenal in the for you. Arsenal fans are everywhere, jumping left, right and center after this gigantic win against the side which goes by names of Sevilla. A win that really saw them win the Florida Cup in there for you. And Mikel Arteta, obviously, as you know, every game when it comes to an end, the manager has to come in and really gives us his reaction. And this is the reaction of Mikel Arteta. He really talked about very many things that for you, all the goal scorers and how the team defended and everything as it really went down at the Emirates Stadium for you. Now, the game started late and Gabriel Jesus scored a hat-trick. Bukayo Saka scored a penalty and another goal. He scored 2 goals. Gabriel Jesus a hat-trick, and Edin Ketia summed up the goal in the for you, and the score really was 6-0. So meaning that Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka and Nketiah were on target. What a way to really end your preseason by all your 3 targets man being on target. You get? And then another Martinelli guy who was playing wide off the left, putting up close to 2 assists in this game of football. Obviously, we believe that it was really a very good day for Arsenal fans all over the world. Now, let's get into what the manager had to say about Arsenal going ahead to beat a side which goes by the names of Sevilla by 6-0. He said, the games you have to play within the game is something different and it's good preparation for us. And there were many moments within the game that went for obvious. Obviously, it's a big score, but there are still a lot of things that we need to improve in. He continued to tell us that Mikel, on the game, he said that we've scored very many goals, but there are still lots of things that we need to improve. Obviously, like what I told you about the ball possession. How come Arsenal wins 6-0 and Sevilla outbeats you in possession with 52% and Arsenal having 48%? That's what the manager is talking about. That, however much Arsenal has really won, there are issues that need to be addressed by these players of Arsenal in the way, because every day is not a Sunday. You will come in here and score 6 when the team has outpossessed you. But when it comes to the other day, you will come in here and you score your goals. A team comes in the second half, they outpossess you, and they do a harm to you, and you might lose out on the entire 3 points or lose out on 2 points by getting a draw. That's what the manager was really trying to refer to, that win for you. So on Gabriel Jesus being an out-and-out centre forward, his versatility is well known. Now we are using him as a number 9. He can play as a winger off the left and the right. That's what he had to say. And he said you can play with 2 strikers, as we have done in preseason as well, and change the shape a little bit. He gives us a lot of flexibility. So he's throwing lots of hells to the man. But I really believe that he is an out-and-out centre forward. That's it. He doesn't want to be played as a wide forward. He doesn't. He hates it. That's why he left Man City. He would have been at Man City even if Haaland came in through, provided he was going to be played as a centre forward. He wants to be played as a centre forward because he was bought while playing as a centre forward for Palmeiras in Brazil. That's why he is here to play that. So he was annoyed by Pep Guardiola. Instead of really initiating him or ushering him into the centre forward role at Man City after Kun Aguero left, guess what he did? He just played him as a wide forward, and then after brought in a player who goes by the names of Erling Haaland, which really doesn't match up his ambitions in the field. Remember, for the Brazilian national team, he plays as a centre forward, and the best way to cement your position at the Brazilian national team as the World Cup nears, you have to go in and be played into your favorite position, score those goals as you've seen him today with that hat-trick, and you really convinced Tite, the Brazilian national team. So Gabriel Jesus is deadly in that position, guys. And I know Pep Guardiola, by the end of this season, will be regretting that, why did I let this guy go? Why did I let him go? Because in a system that Mikel Arteta is playing at Arsenal is the same like that of Pep Guardiola. But Haaland is here and is missing out on chances at the game of Liverpool, but I know he'll pick up. But I really believe that Gabriel Jesus is going to outscore Erling Haaland this season, because Arsenal's creativity is way up there, and Gabriel Jesus is so much used to the Premier League, yet a player who goes by the names of Haaland has to first to get used to the league. So that's why I will give as a reason that he's going to ask him. And he said, Mikel Arteta on Gabriel Jesus' role in the team, he said, what we are seeing is that everybody, not just Gabi, plays at that intensity and that willingness to win the ball, to promote mistakes and to play in the opponent's half as much as possible. So this guy, Gabriel Jesus, was rated by his former manager Pep Guardiola as the best pressing striker or forward in the world. And this is what even Mikel Arteta is talking about, that the willingness to win the ball and promote mistakes to play in the opponent's half. So that's what Gabriel Jesus offers you at first. The press he gates for you or gives your team when the opponents are setting their ball into the goal area of their goal. Oh my God. It's just immense. So that's what he said about his role in the team. He has to lead the unit that really plays at front foot such that he enables the high line to come in through and do well. He said again on his role in the team, you cannot do that if players at the front are walking. They are not tracking. They don't have the instinct and that intention to provoke things that we want, and Gabi is phenomenal at that. Obviously, he's very phenomenal, he's very efficient, and he goes in there with a determination that no one can really beat. You get? This thing is intended. He has been doing it at Man City, he does it at Brazil, and he has brought it at Arsenal. That is a centre forward you always need to put up a press high up the pitch, in there for to situate that you play on the front foot and enable your midfield to come in through and support him, hence your back line playing at the centre line of the field. So that is the role of Gabriel Jesus into that Arsenal team in the for you, as explained by the manager in the for you. Then he said on Gabriel Jesus setting in so well, he said you are hoping that that is going to happen, but obviously a player has to adapt to a new city, to a new club, new teammates, and he's done it a really fast and natural way. In there for me, I will believe that the presence of Brazilians like Gabriel Magalhães, Marquinhos, Gabriel Martinelli really helped him to settle in well because he feels like he's home. This is something that United used to do, that when you bring in a Portuguese player like Ronaldo, to make him settle in very well, they bring in a player like Nani, because to give him what, how they call it, a feeling of presence. You get like he's not missing home either for you. That's why you see very many teams where they sign players from like Brazil, they really get in another Brazilian player, all players from Portugal or Spain, because they all speak Latin in there for you. So it's not so much into the European players, because the European players keep traveling Europe when they're still young in all types of the countries. So it's okay for them. But these players from Africa, players from South America, not players in Africa, because players in Africa adapt to the situation way much easier because they come from poor countries and they know their background. They come here to work for their background, something that we all know. But those players from South America, they really feel like, especially when they're coming to the Premier League, it's okay for them in Italy, it's okay for them in Spain, it's okay for them in Portugal, but they really find a lot of hardship to settle in the Premier League. But the fact that he has been at the Premier League team, which goes by the Man City, and now he has come in at Arsenal, is another reason to really come in and really give him comfort and settle him quickly in there for you. And by the way, playing with Gabriel Martinelli is another point in there for you, because they've been playing together, the national team, for some good games, and he knows his runs. He reads him like a book. And secondly, the presence of Odegaard. He's a player that will make every world-class striker look good in there for you, because he is really doing great and very much good onto distributing that ball and really seeing those lanes that Gabriel Jesus runs through, and then he places into that ball in there for you. But if I told you he was playing with people like Bukayo Saka can't make Gabriel Jesus better, because he's selfish and he's going to be competing with him on the number of goals internally. You get? Yet Gabriel Jesus is okay with it. When he gets the ball, he'll get the assist for Bukayo Saka, like he did in the game of Everton. But Bukayo Saka is very much selfish. Whenever he cuts in and makes that run, and Gabriel Jesus makes that run, guess what happens? Bukayo Saka goes for a shot instead of really releasing that ball to Gabriel Jesus. Yet Gabriel Jesus does it vice versa. So I think the manager has to address that. And he said on Arteta on Odegaard, he said, I think it makes that is Gabriel Jesus, better, and he needs a threat in front of him because he's a player that can find the pass at any moment. When he's in close or open spaces, we need someone to make him look better, and I think the connection is already there. Obviously, he has hit the nail directly on its top that whenever Gabi is making those runs, he needs a player to let him get that pass. And obviously, who finds that pass and who gives that pass? It's Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, to me, this season, watch a lot on him. He's going to attract very many other big clubs to attract him. And I will believe that Mikel Arteta and the board saw this early enough, and they made him the captain of Arsenal. If you had not yet known, Martin Odegaard is officially the Arsenal captain, guys. If you had not yet known, he's officially the Arsenal captain. That's it. So he has been made the Arsenal captain. One of the reasons is to tie him on the club and really to feel like he is really needed. I really believe that's the main reason as to why they've really brought him onto the Arsenal captain armband, and he's having it, holding it tight, and he is here to do it. But secondly, his talent, he's undoubted. At Madrid, he couldn't really break through the first team because of the talent that had really mushroomed that side, and all those players he was competing with are world-class players, proven. Casemiro, Luka Modric, and Toni Kroos. There is no way you can put in Odegaard, however talented he is, you get? Because he was like even third or fourth tier. There are people like Valverde, there are people like Isco. He couldn't play past them. Marc Asensio, you get? He couldn't play past them, and they had signed in Camavinga. Then they've brought in Tchouaméni. So he had no space to go in and really expose his talent. But at the end of the season, he really said, for the very first time, I will feel like I'm playing football and enjoying the game of football because I've settled in at Arsenal. Sorry about that. Very, very well. And what does that show you? It shows you that players like Martin Odegaard, they only need a decent environment and a manager who has really believed in him to really get to his full potential. And I really believe that. Watch out on Martin Odegaard this season. On Zinchenko, this is what he said about Zinchenko. And you know, Zinchenko played this game, and remember he played for today. He played very many minutes, by the way, like more than those he played when Arsenal was playing Chelsea in America, and he played more, meaning that he's going to start even on Friday against Crystal Palace in that for you. Then he said, Arteta on Zinchenko, first of all, his mentality, he's used to winning. Winning is the only thing, and winning is the right way. He's a perfectionist, and a really demanding boy. I know him so well, and after that, he brings qualities that we didn't have in the squad. Obviously, Arsenal don't have a ball-playing defender or midfielder better than Zinchenko minus Odegaard. Odegaard is unrelatable. You get? You can't relate him to anyone. You get? You can't even put him in an equation with anyone at Arsenal because he's a different kind of player. The only one come in and compare Odegaard, I'll have to first see Fabio Vieira and how he really plays this game of football in there for you. So he has talked about Zinchenko, his qualities and what he brings on the field of play. Obviously, Zinchenko is a lad that everyone would like to come in through and really get him to the levels where he deserves to be, because he's really great and he has really played very well and his qualities are undoubted. That's it. So his mentality and the way he really connects with Martinelli and Odegaard plus Gabriel Jesus in there for you, it's really great. That's why you saw most of the goals of Arsenal, by the way. When you see most creativity comes in from that left flank. Zinchenko links well with Martinelli, then Odegaard and Gabriel Jesus, and that side is really going to be a threat. Martinelli is just one of those players that I can hail day in, day out, because he really played very well at the game of a side which goes by the names of Arsenal in there for you. So he ended by saying this on Zinchenko. He gives us a different option to play within the role in different spaces, and I'm really happy to have him in the for you. So he gets Arsenal a lot of things. When you look at Arsenal, the way they're going to play this game of season, the way they're going to play this season is really going to be all about attack-minded game, having a lion's share of the possession. So when you're having a lion's share of the possession, you must be having players that really look great with the ball going forward on the pitch. That's why I tell people that Arsenal doesn't want to sell Nuno Tavares because they know that he is really talented and he's good going forward. So that's why they've loaned him to Marseille, and Marseille is going to be at Marseille for 1 year and is going to return after that loan in there for you. But when you're having players like Nuno Tavares, Zinchenko, you know that you are really going to get the best that you deserve, because these players get you a lot as far as assists are concerned, because they play high up the pitch. Their intensity is not questionable. So I really believe that it's really all about a man who goes by names of Zinchenko and being hailed by his manager who goes by names of Mikel Arteta in there for you. So Zinchenko is really playing well, and Man City are really suffering from this. After losing players like Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, you look at them as a team that is struggling well playing at Liverpool right now, and Liverpool is leading them by 1 goal to nil, and Liverpool is dominating this game. And this is the reason as why I can tell you that Premier League season 2022-2023, watch a lot on it. It's going to be so much tricky in there for you. Then Mikel Arteta, on if Arsenal were missing movement up front last season, he said, we try to improve the team and recruit in order to get better. And obviously there were some things that we didn't have. We try to get them, and we bring people in or develop on players, and that's always the objective in there for you. So he has admitted that they are lacking movement last season. Obviously, they're lacking movement because if I thought they had a Gabriel Jesus last season, they would have been in the Champions League. You know that very well. But Spurs that brought in Bentancur and Kulusevski were in the Champions League, and they're really going to play in the Champions League this season. So the coming in of Gabriel Jesus has really improved the season of Arsenal in there for you. Then he talked about, before I talk about the preseason, there is something he talked about. He talked about the way Arsenal defended. I want to bring you that tweet when he talked about the way Arsenal defended. Where is it? He talked about the way Arsenal defended. I want to really bring it. All right. He talked about the way Arsenal really went ahead to defend, and I really said that it's really something great to come in and really talk about it, because the quality of defending, he really said a lot about it, on the quality of defending, and the quality of defending, and the quality of defending. Yep. Before I really conclude this video, it was so much bad if I never talked about what he said about the way Arsenal defended. He said it's about the connection between all the players, all the units, the intensity and the willingness to win the ball as high as possible on the pitch. The moment we give it away, it's about how the team reacts in there for you. So he went ahead to tell us that how compact we are, how willing we are when the press is beaten to get back and be compact again. It's just a team effort, and individually and collectively, they are really living the game in every single ball, and this is what we demand for them. So, talked about them being compact in the central defense, playing high up on the pitch. That is what Mikel Arteta is calling for from his defenders, and they gave it him wholly. When you're having William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, their physicality is not doubted. You know, the Premier League is all about physicality first. Then their technicalities on the ball, they are really firm. They are not timid. They really defend well up and down. They win aerial and down duels a lot. That is really a perfect central defense. Add on Ben White, good defensively, good going forward. You get, and he has that ball, he floats. You get diagonally, that diagonal he really lays to Martinelli in there for you. That is deadly. And he has also a Zinchenko who can do it, because Zinchenko switches play from the left flank to the right flank. The same applies to Ben White. He switches play like that. Something I really believe that Tomiyasu needs to come in and really improve a lot on his game, because the way Ben White played today showed me that there is something that Mikel Arteta is looking into his team, because obviously William Saliba is better than Ben White this time around. I've started to agree. I agree. Agblenoha, I was really against you that William Saliba is underrated and Ben White is overrated. I'm not going to use those words, but I really believe that Saliba is better than Ben White in central defense. That's why Ben White has been shifted to the right back and Saliba is into the central defense, playing on the right side of the central defense in the for you. So the defense was really so good, and the way they really transit when they don't have the ball and when they have the ball is great. The high line is perfect, because it is so much led by the most pressing forward in the world, that is Gabriel Jesus. When Gabriel Jesus presses, the midfield will go ahead and join him. Then the back four goes ahead to play at the center line. And amongst the back four, only the two central defenders are the back line. Sorry, they're not the back line, at the center half. Only the two center halves are at the center half. The right back and the left back are pressing up the pitch in the wide areas as the right back, as the right winger and left winger, in the names of Martinelli and Bukayo Saka, narrow inside in the half spaces and create space for the left back and right flank, and the left back and right back to fly onto those flanks in there for you. So 100% believe that Mikel Arteta really had a lot of things to say about that in there for you. Now, summing up the preseason, he said, we had a mixture of spending time here in London and being away, and we have played competitive matches against very different opponents and formations and ways of playing and behaviors from teams. Obviously, they've really had that too. He said we had the different conditions as well. We were in Germany. We had to acclimatize with the weather there, and we went to the US and it was the same. Now we play with different context and atmosphere altogether. He concluded by saying, so in general, I feel like the team is prepared. The ball is going to start rolling on Friday night, and it will be a different story altogether. So that's what Mikel Arteta had to say about his team, that the reason as to why they went to different sides, Germany, USA, and then London, is for the team to get used to the different atmospheres in there for you, because everywhere they went, the atmosphere and levels were really different. So they're now ready, and they can't wait to play a side which goes by the name of Crystal Palace. And on Friday, obviously, Arsenal is going to be opening up the Premier League with Crystal Palace, and they won't come here to mirror what they had or what they did at the beginning of the previous season. Brentford beat them by 2-0. They opened up on Friday, and we're going to wait and see how Arsenal are really going to come in here and really transit to the next season for you. So your reactions to what Mikel Arteta has really said about Arsenal 6, Sevilla 0 are welcome into the comment section below. Go by the names of Rokani David. I sign out for now. See you later. But I'm ending the day with the Yuri Tielemans story. Tielemans agreement agreed. I'm coming back with that story. So if at all you don't want to miss out on such stories, subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified each and every time I upload a video into this channel. And smash the like button, comment, and share. Me out.